Hello, Ruthless Racing Nation. This is the Ruthless Racing Series Playoffs Ruthless Round of 6 cutoff race at Charlotte. So tonight we will find out who will be a part of your Ruthless Championship 4. And right now the favorites are Typical, Dan the Man, Hollywood, and Bad Martin. Only Shepard and Jared could possibly move on in this round. A bad race by one of these guys. Tonight up in that top 4 currently could knock them out with Shepard being down there flirting around if he has some kind of good race here tonight. And that is right. Got Trav Nation in the house. Won't be on track tonight. Anxious Yeti will be on track. We're calling it the Coca-Cola 300, though we do 50% races here. So this is going to be a long race. It will be a long one. And I hope anybody that's here is here for the long haul, because it will be 4 stages instead of 3 tonight. And each stage will probably break down fairly evenly with each other. Probably around the same pit strategy for each stage and things like that. But looks like qualifying is about finished now. So we're just waiting on those guys to get ready and get going. So who thinks going to be in that championship 4? You got Typical, Hollywood, Bad Martin, Dan the Man, Shepard, and Jared. Jared basically needs a win. I think Shepard could still point his way in. He just has to have one of the other 4 guys that, or I'm sorry, Dan the Man is locked in, so he ain't doing shit about that. Dan the Man, who's the other 3? Is basically, Typical is pretty much already locked in. I think any finish in stage 1 about locks him in. I would imagine possibly just starting the race. But looks like qualifying is almost over. Travis says real men would run 100%, no stages for tonight's race. And I would say real men would run at least 50% and have tires on their damn car. But you know, I'm not talking about anyone specific. So if that somehow applies to anybody out there, you know, don't take it the wrong way. You know, I'm just saying. Sure, crickets, whatever. Some may say I have the fairest comments. Sometimes they're just the fairest, and you know, you just can't dispute it. We know what fair is, and we're the fairest. I'm kind of I like this nice little pre-race chat interaction. Qualifying just ended, so we're still waiting on our invite and stuff. Make sure I get my invite and join message, because you know sometimes they forget to do that. I need to go turn my notifications off so I don't have a little black box for you all. There we go, fix that for you. I don't have any more black box issues, hopefully. It's going to be a long stream if we start the stream with impressions. And, I'd have to agree with that, Yeti. I would have to 100% agree with that statement. I don't know. I don't have a lot of impressions. Oh, another thing. Let's say everybody out there, keep Skew Car in your thoughts. Skew Car has came down with some kind of illness. Been in bad shape for the last few days. So he needs that ruthless healing power. Jay Santos, welcome. Let's go racing. Indeed. So it looks like typical on the pole. Yeah. Dan the Man, though, starting outside pole. And he's already locked in. Hollywood's going to start, or Bad Martin in third, Hollywood in fourth. So your current championship 4 favorites are starting 1 through 4. And then Shepherd, who is just right outside, is starting 5th. So it's lined up greatly throughout the field here. The favorites in the front, guy needing the win, or just to point out having those other 4 guys. Well, really, it doesn't matter what Dan the Man does. Dude go out here, blow all 4 tires lap 1. Dude's racing for championship in Homestead next week. Now for those other 3, bad day at a track like Charlotte, where a little bit of bonus points are in order because we get this extra stage. So could be interesting once we get to the end of this one. And tonight, whenever we do our interviews, it will be the championship 4. And we won't do the top 3, no matter who the top 3 is. I'm sorry if it's your first top 3, you probably won't be in the booth. But if you are part of the championship 4, you will be in the booth. And we'll get you all lined out and see what those guys, whoever they may be, by the time this is all over. Oh, I guess I should have joined. Alright, so we're going to get in here and get it going so we can catch the first lap of action from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It'll be 300 laps to see who can solidify themselves in the Ruthless Championship 4 and who will take home the first ever Ruthless Championship. And it will only belong to the most ruthless of them all. Here we go, typical on the pole, boogity, 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 boys. Let's get racing, as it is going to be the cutoff race right here from Charlotte. And typical on the pole, basically in. Dan the Man on the outside pole, already in. And here goes some beating and banging around the bottom. I want to say Martin is in the wrong car. So Martin is going to be in the 18 tonight, everybody. He is usually in the 4, I understand. But tonight he will be in the 18. I will have to remember that. Bad Martin is in that 18 white M&M's car. Dan the Man, who is already locked into the championship, is just out here racing for fun at this point. Typical also practically in the championship with the points that he has. It's basically Martin and Hollywood need to stay ahead of Shepherd as much as possible tonight. And kind of lock themselves in for a chance to win that championship here in a week from Homestead. Alright, looks like everybody's already having fun with Travis out there. See what you started, Travis? Looking good throughout the field now here in the beginning of this race. It's a good single file start, and it seems like everybody knows what the what this implicates. It is a very long race, a very long stage. 49 laps in stage number 1 alone, 46 remaining at the moment. A lot of swirliness coming off of those exits. And you'll see that on turn number four, I'm sure, as we'll see somebody go through there and kick up some dirt tonight, breaking loose out of 4, as we've been on Dan the Man most of this go here. And there's Bad Martin. And that 18 got the top 5 right there. That's basically your championship favorites. That's who's racing to get in. There's Anxious Yeti. And Big Ben had a good race last week at Talladega. There's Dunlap in the 24. There's G-Dog 17. Real good finish last week at Talladega, finishing second. Best finish in the Ruthless racing career. And I believe, unfortunately, there is death before dishonor, an animal. But I don't believe Jared made the race tonight, so he will absolutely be out of the championship hunt. So unfortunate for Jared. Had a good season and was able to get in there after a technicality had happened, but not able to continue his path to a Ruthless championship, as he did not make the start tonight. But you know what that does mean. That means this man right here, running in 5th position, has a chance to still be a Ruthless champion. And all it's going to take is doing better than those 2 cars ahead of him right now in this race. And like I said, very, very long race. And the battle for the lead is starting to get spicy, as we'll go on board with Hollywood as he starts to lose it off the apron. Can't handle the low side there. So battle for the lead stretches back out to single file again. Hey, wish you a Merry Christmas as well. Welcome to Ruthless Racing series on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. This is a round of 6 cutoff race. 4 guys will move on to the championship round next week at Homestead, Miami. And right now, your 4 favorites are Dan the Man, Typical, Bad Martin, and Hollywood Shepherd. And the 48 car is looking to try to do something about his hopes in fighting for that Ruthless championship next week. Catch all the action right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Got Sniper in the house. What's up? Thanks for stopping by, Sniper. Hey, Skew Car is 10 out of 10 the best supporter of Ruthless Racing series. He helps us get out here and, you know, get the word out and have all you all watch us. So we are so supportive and appreciative of Skew Car and all of his community that come over and support us over here at Ruthless Racing. So get well, Skew Car. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all of you that watch. And check out the description in this video right now for some deals on a Humble Bundle. Right before the holidays, you still got time to go purchase that for somebody you forgot to get something, or maybe some tickets for yourself or somebody off of SeatGeek. $20 off using code SKEWCAR at checkout on your first purchase. And then we are right back to the racing here, as it is almost a 3-car battle, as you seen Bad Martin get a little loose off of that exit. There's Typical, though. He's still in the lead. Dan the Man right there on that bumper, you know. Like we said, Dan already in. He is for sure racing for that championship. Typical, more than likely locked in just from the start of this race. And, I mean, really this battle is going to be between the 18, Dan the Man, or Bad Martin, I'm sorry, the 16 of Hollywood, and the 48 of Shepherd, who is falling from 5th position. Or who has fell from 5th position, my apologies, as he was in 5th for quite a while. As we are 13 laps in out of 49 here in stage number 1. And you're right, Dan the Man is closing in. Hopefully the in-game car audio is a little louder this evening. I tried to work on that. basically just up here to a two-car battle up front. Martin trying to stay in the air and remain relevant up here for that battle. I swear, him or Dan always finds themselves in this little pocket where they're just too fast for the cars behind them and too slow for the cars in front of them. They do that so often. And I think Martin does have enough air to catch these guys, though. Especially if they start battling any bit. He will certainly be okay. But Death Before Dishonor has now moved himself up through the field after starting towards the back. So Death Before Dishonor has moved up to 4th position. Hollywood has dropped back a spot. Here to 5th. Dunlap now up to 6th, and Shepard back to 7th after starting 5th. Exactly, Skew Car. If it's not louder, yeah, I'll just get my boy Ben Rhodes from, me and him from the same state stuff. I'll just get him to do it. Right now you're watching the battle for 4th position, and it's basically just a line of cars trying to work together enough to catch these guys up front. You would have thought they would have caught Martin or something by now, try to push him on up towards the front. This could be a really interesting battle if these 4 cars were able to catch up to the front pack. It already looks like we've got a slow car out front, as we'll try to see who that is. That's going to be Animal in the 38. As they work back around to the front stretch this time, Dan the Man has closed into the quarter panel and nearly to the door. And he's going to be looking to take the lead this time by as they go down door to door into turn number 1 and 2. And looks like Typical still going to have the advantage on the high side, still going to have the grip coming out down the back stretch. And he's going to clear him down the back stretch. Let's see how this lap car plays into all this right now. He's going to go high. Is he going to stay high? He gets a little low, but he's going to stay high. And out of the wall, not loose, and did not take anyone out. All right, so the battle for the lead is interesting as the lap car gets everybody around. Martin going to try to go around him this time. And he gets around him cleanly, as we're going to try to watch the rest of the field try to get around this. A big 4-car group coming up on this lap car now. Can he go high and stay high? Good, all off the wall this time. Contact with the 16. He's going to come down into the field, but he didn't mess anyone else up. So the 16 did lose a little bit of speed. Everybody else checked up. That kind of broke him up a little bit. That hurt Shepard more than anybody. He did not need that to happen. Alright, so the lap car did hurt Dan's momentum. Oh, a little looseness there from Typical in that 3 off the nose of the 34 coming out of 4. I'm in for a long one tonight, folks, so please stick with me through my little pauses and drink breaks. As I believe next weekend, as I promised, I do believe we're going to have someone in the booth with us, and I still have not released that information on who that's going to be. But if you stay up with the community post, I will let you all know on race day next week who will be in the booth with me for the championship. So Bad Martin not going to be able to catch those leaders. And those guys behind him aren't even going to catch him, it seems like. They've gotten a little closer. But they got broke up real bad due to the lap car. It really hurt Shepard here. Oh, someone got loose, broke loose coming off there. It's Hollywood breaking loose out of 4, and he's still got it to catch. So he's going to be way low. And it took him all the way to turn number 1 to catch that. Merry Christmas to you. So Hollywood crapped the bed. L's in the chat for Hollywood. So Typical still your leader. Dan the Man losing the bumper of that 3 car now. And we are 25 out of 49 laps here in stage number 1. And I imagine about every person will have to pit this stage. I also imagine that y'all killing me. Y'all killing me in there. I'd also imagine these stages break down very similar as well, as most of these will be around 47 to 49 laps. Stage number 2 might be our shortest, if any. And Typical just kind of stretching his lead out here. I'm not looking, I don't have any, okay. So it looks like we're going to be pitting here within the next couple laps. So we're going to be seeing some pit stops come through now. As we're looking at about 26, 27 laps of fuel run tonight. So definitely going to be pits in every stage. And something that's going to be interesting to look at here tonight is how are these guys going to get on and off pit road. Don't know if anyone's pit yet, as it doesn't seem like anyone has. There goes Death Before Dishonor down pit road. As actually, I think he might have got put down pit road, didn't register or something. I knew he was going really fast. Dan the Man going to come in the lead, and then Typical Dan the Man, Typical Bad Martin, and then I think Dunlap came in after they did. Not sure if Shepard has pit yet. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who got a penalty. As I believe these guys, to make it to the end of the stage, they're going to have to make a full stop. So we're going to see 62 go into pit this time to get some service. He usually has issues with pit road. As you see, he gets real slow there. Big Ben on pit road, and these guys are coming off now. G-Dog on there getting his service animal out here. Possibly getting some lap back, maybe. Death Before Dishonor had to come back around and get in pit road, so that was unfortunate for him. And as of right now, I think Hollywood is the leader, but he will go into pit after having that incident on the front stretch. And it basically lasted from turn 4 till turn 1. And Hollywood will remain in the lead until they come back around. I think Typical might regain the lead once it's all said and done. Nope, I believe that's going to be Dan the Man out there in the lead at the moment. Whenever they come back around, Hollywood is still on pit road. And yeah, that put Dan the Man in the lead whenever they crossed pit road. So this will be your battle for the rest of the stage, barring any caution. 31 out of 49 laps here in stage number 1. Thanks to everybody who is watching. This is the Ruthless Racing Series right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. This is the Ruthless Round of 6 cutoff race at Charlotte. So stick around and see who makes it into our Ruthless Championship 4. I tried to take a break, and then he hits the wall. 34 in the wall. We got contact. Typical to the lead again. 34 trying to put the move back on the inside. Door to door going down the front stretch this time. Middle of stage number 1, and we've got action for the lead. 34 is inside on the 3, and he is not letting up as we're going to go overhead and try to see what we can see. Neck and neck down the back stretch. A lot more grip on the high side for the 3, but preferred method on the inside for the 34. Apron's going to be his enemy this time. Can the wall make a difference for the 3 here? He does touch it, and the 34 is going to have the momentum back to the inside. I believe it was led by Typical that time, but we're still door to door back into turn number 1. Not hardly clear enough. Nose to quarter panel right now for the 34 and the 3. Hard battle. Oh, he gets Ty, I believe, out of the corner of 2 and touched the wall a little bit. So battle for the lead is all over. Retention to Dan the Man. Good racing, and there's Animal once again. Going to be in the line of sight of losing a lap. But it looks like 2 cars are now on that pace to losing a lap. Start to get stretched out here after the pit stops. Thanks to everybody who has joined. Anybody new, please hit the subscribe button, as we would greatly appreciate it. We go live every Thursday for Ruthless Racing Series action. And you can catch me do some things here and there with possibly Madden or just some leagues that I race in. I tried to bring you all some Talladega racing last night from my point of view, but it just wouldn't work. Alright, I'm there, man. We're going to do a Through the Field brought to you by Mobile One. And it is Dan the Man in the lead, followed by Typical there. But we'll just go by what we got here. It's Typical. There is Bad Martin in the 18, Typically in the 4. This is Hollywood in the 16. He had a little incident earlier. And those 4 guys I just showed you are all the 4 of the championship 4 favorites. And then this guy is looking to get in there. He needs all the points he can get. There's 62 Anxious Yeti Nation for some of you all. Big Ben here. New racer to Ruthless Racing, but had a good race last week. There's 24 Dunlap. Oh, sorry. Animal in the 38 there. G-Dog in 17, good finish last week. Death Before Dishonor out here had an issue for pit road, and then while we were doing Through the Field, we lose the battle for the lead. Whereas Typical takes over the lead from the 34 here once again, and we are coming down to 11 laps remaining in stage number 1 right here from Charlotte. I'm going to take a quick water break. We're going to keep you right here on your leaders. It's Typical, Dan the Man, and Bad Martin, your top 3 right now from Charlotte. Alright, we're down to 9 to go now, and this is your battle for the lead here in stage number 1 from Charlotte. And Typical and Dan the Man basically racing for style points, as they are basically both in the championship. This matters for Hollywood and Dan the Man, or I'm sorry, Bad Martin and Hollywood. I get Dan the Man and Bad Martin just mixed up. Used to do that with 2 other guys. So we'll see how this comes down with 8 to go. Does Dan the Man have that last little bit in the car? Did he lose the lead because his car lost it? Or did he just kind of, it's going to lay back, try to make a last lap move? I can see him kind of maybe setting up something on the inside for 3 and 4 later on. We'll see if he's going to maybe do that now. I don't know if I'd get too aggressive too early here. I understand you gotta try to keep it up. He could have been just waiting for the point of attack. Dan the Man been a fierce competitor since he's joined Ruthless Racing here this season. As he got a little loose off of 4 there. I will take that fake $10 bet. So we're getting down to the final laps of stage number 1 here. Still quite spaced out throughout the field. As we'll get back here, there's Hollywood. He is alone. I believe he is a little bit throughout the field, actually. Shepard also alone. So this is basically our only battle, and it's where it matters. As we have 5 to go in stage number 1. And it is a battle between the 3 and the 34 of Typical and Dan the Man. Both these guys basically already in the Ruthless Playoff 4 for the battle for the championship next week. But they are showing that, you know, they're going to race this thing out. They're not giving up anywhere. They want all they can get. And that's what we like, fierce competition. As this has been a long stage number 1, longest of the year, and it's Dan the Man going to take the lead. Typical had a little bit of an issue, I guess. Couldn't quite tell that on the screen, but could have gotten tired or loose off of 4 there. He's going to take it right back to the inside. Not quite, though. He's going to be aggressive coming into 3 and 4. So Typical loses the lead here late, as we will have 2 to go this time by. Typical possibly just needed to save a little bit of tire to get him towards the end there. Thinks he has the move. Bumper in the chat is what everybody's calling for. I don't know if Typical would quite do that. We'll have to see, though, as we'll have 1 remaining next time by. Bit of a white flag for the stage. Oh, Yeti around right there on the backstretch. What is going on? That was unfortunate. I hope that don't bring out a caution. That would ruin some great racing here towards the end of the stage, as Dan the Man was able to jump ahead of Typical. And that's going to be the end of your stage right there. Dan the Man getting the stage win over Typical. And not quite sure what happened there with 62. I'm not sure what went on. I'm actually going to go back through my stream right now and see what that was. Oh, he just kind of spun coming out of 2. He just spun it. I watched the replay. I don't know. That's going to be Dan the Man, Typical, Bad Martin, Dunlap, and Big Ben rounding up your top 5. Good job on Dunlap and Big Ben getting up there. And I need to see the rest of that field, because that could be detrimental to somebody like Hollywood. Hollywood finished 1 spot ahead of Shepard, so Shepard's still on the back end of the championship hunt. Getting closer and closer to needing a win here. This stage break is brought to you by SKU Car. Please check out the description for deals brought to you by SKU Car. And also check out SKU Car on the other platforms like Twitter. Go check them out. Ruthless Racing also has a Twitter and a TikTok. I don't know much about the TikTok, but Hollywood's all over it. So, if you got TikTok, we on it. Alright, so we're going to get back going here. It's going to be Dan the Man on the pole for this stage, with Typical right beside him. It's going to have Bad Martin in 3rd, Dunlap in 4th, Big Ben in 5th. Hollywood's going to be out there in 6th position. And this will be a 47 lap stage. So 2 laps shorter this time, but still going to have a pit. And as we get going, Typical kind of drops back on the outside, and that's going to allow Dan the Man and Bad Martin to get up here to the front. And we've got them battling right here now, as the 2 is now up here into the mix. Man, Martin in that 18 is really messing with my mind. .34 to the outside, 18 to the inside. He's got momentum and help with the 48 and the 5. And they are going to have the inside preferred line. Can they hold it up there on the high side? Door to door, 1 hits the wall. That's the 2 of Big Ben. 3 wide coming out of 4. It's going to force the 48 into the dirt. 16 into the dirt. 2 are wrecking. Did they get into the field back through there? Oh, man. The 48 got absolutely demolished. And that's going to ruin his night. He's still back here playing in the sand. Unfortunate. And the racing just continues. I'm not sure if they will call a caution at the line, as we do manual cautions here. Oh, we're going to get a bump from the 18 up on the 34. Typical going to take a lot of momentum to the inside. Can he take the lead? Possibly a caution at the line, but we will see. I do not hear any throttle giving out, and I think it's going to stay green. 34 got bumped up by his buddy, the 18 there. Dunlap now in 3rd. In the 24. Oh, 18 off the wall, back in there in the pack. He's able to keep it out of everybody. 3 go down low. Unfortunate. Thanks for your comments out there, VM29. Really appreciate it. Comments and compliments. F in the chat. Indeed, back to the inside goes Dan the Man on Typical. And he's going to take the lead once again. Typical might not have the best car out here no more. J-Man is back in the chat. What's up? So 34 is on the inside of the 3 here. Oh, Hollywood off the apron. He bangs up into the pack. And that will certainly bring out a caution this time, as they are wrecking back there heavy. So big wreck. Big first wreck, going to cause a caution this time. Game initiated caution. Hollywood off the apron hard and up into the pack. And that'll be your first caution here from Charlotte this evening. Good grief. So Typical is in the lead. Dan the Man in 2nd. Big Ben in 3rd. Anxious Yeti is now in 4th, and Bad Martin in 5th. Most people went in there, and don't think this will cause. I don't think this will cause anybody to not have to pit. So there's still a pit out there for these guys, and Typical is going to jump back out there. Dan the Man's going to sneak it down in front of Big Ben in the 2. Anxious Yeti is going to try to ride the high side and have some help up there. Typical is going to go up there. Dan the Man right on his bumper. 2 to the inside, nearly 3 wide once again. We've got contact coming into 4th to the 4th turn here, and it's getting shifty back there. 24 hard into the wall. Oh, unfortunate for Dunlap. He is wrecking it all to pieces. And that might be another caution, not sure. So Typical still in the lead, and it kind of stretched it out there with all that mayhem going on behind them. And possibly a caution at the line, don't know. We'll listen to see if he lets out. And I think we're staying green. So 37 laps remaining in stage number 2, and we've had a couple incidents already. Did have a crash. So we're looking off the rear of Typical there, but he is just kind of smoothly going along out there. Bad Martin has found himself all the way back here, as we still hear people bouncing off the walls. So Bad Martin is in that championship hunt Him and Hollywood pretty much about the only ones that could lose their spot, I'm thinking. Shepherd inching closer to needing a win. But 2 more stages to go after this one. I mean, all the results from this one still matter. Death Before Dishonor got a little battle on his door. He's got 2 playoff drivers trying to get by him. And Martin does not want to help out Shepherd any way possible. Where is Everything NASCAR? Oh, he is here now. Or they. Are you a man or a woman? So there's Typical. Yeah, he definitely got a big lead. Big. His leg is bigly. I am man, says Everything NASCAR. I am man. So Everything NASCAR is man. So big lead for sure for Typical, looking to stay that way. Possibly, yeah, man in the chat for Everything NASCAR. Man. Man in the chat. Everything Wise Man, because it's Christmas. So we got some battling going on right here. We'll keep it on Bad Martin. This is where the action's happening, Captain. Door to door, tight racing between the 5 and the 18. And I like someone like Death joining Ruthless Racing Series. He's not afraid to come out here and put his nose up against a playoff driver and make him earn it. I love my stream chats. I get the greatest people in these things. Y'all come in here and have a great time. And that's really what it's all about. Y'all can watch a little bit of racing, listen to me talk my head off, and then chat amongst each other in the chat. With Skew Car there, I know he's kind of a little bit of a celebrity amongst the NASCAR highlights community. I'm sure that some people don't even watch NASCAR. They just go watch Skew Car videos and they're just like, oh, that was the race. Like, I'm sure that is a thing for some people. As that battle is still thick back there for around 5th position. As we're going to try to keep it right there. Typical still out there to a very lengthy lead. Starting to get shaky back here, though. These guys are. The battle for second kind of heating up between Big Ben and... Oh, Hollywood got tight and off the wall there. He's going to drop back. Oh, Shepherd back into the dirt once again. Oh, I'm pretty sure Shepherd wrecked, or maybe hit the wall at the very least. Unfortunate event for him once again. Hollywood also having another bad incident. So now the battle is tightening up on second. Big Ben already came and got second from Dan the Man. And now we got a line of 4 cars here. So this battle has picked up quite a bit here. We lost 2 and gained 2. All in the same motion. Interesting as the lap car of Animal goes up, gets into the wall. He's able to stay out of everybody's way, though, and this line of 4 cars is going to remain intact. They're all trying to catch Typical, as a pit is still to happen, I do believe. Put your Hot Pocket in my microwave. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyways, second place is the 2 car of Big Ben. Good showing at Talladega last week. And, Yeti lagged out. Unfortunate. So, engine issue for him. Oh, Dan the Man gets swirly down the front stretch. And he's able to hang on to it. So this is second place right here. We're watching third, fourth, and fifth right behind them. Typical is out to a monster lead. And these guys are just trying to catch him. Project lag out. So you can see Typical up there ahead of these guys. Someone already down pit road. If this group works together on and off pit road, they could possibly catch Typical, I guess. It's looking like a 3.5 second lead, though, for Typical. So it would have to be a very crappy pit stop for him to lose that lead. These guys have kept it together right here, second through fifth. Death Before Dishonor signaling that he is going to pit this time by. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Typical still out in the lead, not looking to pit as of right now, as the lead has been cut down just a tad. By 0.2 of a second. Although it does not look like it has. As this is second through fourth right here. And none of these guys are pitting this time by. So Death Before Dishonor possibly going to try to pit ahead of everybody. And I did see some dirt get thrown up through there. Don't know if Typical got in the dirt. I've just seen some get flown up through there. A lot of people getting loose off of this back stretch here. So big race right here for second place. They have cut the lead down 0.4 of a second now. Everything NASCAR? No worries. No worries at all. It's appreciated, everything you do. And take the moment to say thanks to Everything NASCAR, responsible for the official Ruthless Racing highlights. Check out their channel and check out those highlights from previous Ruthless Racing events. And thanks to Skew Car and all of you that watch and make this possible and make this worth it every single week. Already up to 143 comments tonight. And we're only in stage number 2 out of 4. And we still got a pit stop in number 2 here to see what's going to happen. It's Typical still out there on the track, still in the lead, and he gained a 10th back on these guys. Big Ben still in second place, followed by Dan the Man and Bad Martin. So good battle here between these guys all this stage. They just lost Typical there after, I believe Dunlap it was, hit the wall that kind of separated the field a little bit. And this is kind of where we've been ever since. as they do have 15 laps remaining in stage number 2. A lot of guys have already went in and took that pit. They're going to try to play it out on the long side of things. Hopefully they didn't lose a lot of time on those guys that stayed out there. Right now it's shaped up as typical Big Ben, Dan the Man, Bad Martin, and Dunlap. And Dunlap is nearly 25 seconds off the lead. So a good re-rack is for sure in order. Only one caution tonight so far, but we have had about 3 wrecks. I also want to take the opportunity to say to everybody in here, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a great one. And yeah, I hope it's just so awesome. Mine's going to be cold as hell. It's supposed to be minus 15 wind chill, 17 mile an hour winds. It's going to be just so awesome. I can remember like 2 Christmases ago, we literally had a cookout because it was so warm. And the last 2 Christmases have been white. Typical has went down pit road. So that means now Big Ben and Dan the Man are first and second. And with Bad Martin being third. So typical down pit road, and we'll see how long these guys stretch it out. Now they can put some laps on typical, possibly. They do have the air working together. No one looking like they want to pit now. Bad Martin was up here with these guys, but I'm not quite sure what knocked him out of it. Oh, what happened to the 2 of Big Ben? I hope that didn't just happen to him. That would suck. That's unfortunate. No, this is PlayStation. Some to Dan. Alright, so I don't think it let Big Ben pit. But thanks for stopping by here and giving us a watch. Unfortunate for Big Ben there, he was leading. And then pit road kind of screwed him. Some to Dan, if you're interested, hit the subscribe button. We go live every Thursday, Ruthless Racing Action. Next week will be the championship. It did happen to Death earlier. Same thing happened to him. And we got Typical and Death here fighting for 3rd position. Not sure. I think Dan the Man is in the lead right now. So that pit did actually work out big time for him. Would have worked out for Big Ben as well. But unfortunate pit road kind of acting janky tonight. So kind of messed up Big Ben there. Yeah, we're gonna have another one get screwed in stage 3 most likely. Typical chasing down Dan the Man here, as you can see him. Look at him get down in this corner. I mean, I guess Dan the Man must have took rights. Ain't no way. That was just, ain't no way. He did have to take right tires there. And Typical is on 4 freshies, and I believe he's just about to check out. As we got 6 laps remaining here in stage number 2. Dan the Man was your stage number 1 winner, but Typical coming back with a fiery vengeance. And Dan the Man just not going to be able to do it with those. I think right sides only for him possibly. Because Death Before Dishonor is coming up quick as well and going to go ahead and take the inside on him. Big Ben also coming by, but he is now lapsed down due to the unfortunate pit road event. Dunlap also lapsed down, I'm guessing. So, because right now we got Typical, Death Before Dishonor, Dan the Man, Hollywood, and Bad Martin all in the top 5. This is 3rd position. This is 1st. I'm trying to get to 2nd here. This is 2nd at the moment, so these 2 guys ahead of him are lapped cars. And Typical has a 2.5 second lead, and he's kind of just stretching it back out to what he had before he pit, which was nearly a 3 and 4/10 lead before the pit stops. That is Typical, your leader, as he is coming around. And I think we have 4 to go now here in stage number 2. And we're already an hour in. We're not even halfway over. But we have had a good consistent group in the chat and on the stream tonight, so greatly appreciated you all who's staying by and watching. I'm trying to take as little as breaks as possible. But this is the Ruthless Racing Series playoffs, the Ruthless Round of 6 cutoff race at Charlotte on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and like that stream if you're watching out there tonight, as every like, subscribe, and comment is greatly appreciated. Let us know what you do or don't like. I mean, you might get wrenched, which is an honor to get wrenched. If somebody can get me Larry Mack on the phone, we'll get his ass in a PlayStation party. And on this stream. Typical is starting to pick off people in the championship hunt now as he's getting on the bumper of Shepherd, who does not need to go a lap down. Wonder if Typical will get screwed in stage number 3 on pit road. Somebody's going to get it. Pit road is taking lives tonight. That's going to end stage number 1. That's going to make Typical your winner. In stage number 1, Dan the Man was able to take stage number 2, sorry. Whatever I said. Dan the Man won stage number 1, Typical won stage number 2. Typical, Death Before Dishonor, Bad Martin, Dan the Man, Hollywood making up your top 5 there in stage number 2. So at this point, I think Shepherd's looking at a must-win situation. And I think he was able to keep his lap there at the end of that stage, so good for him. As we're going to take a little break right here. Brought to you by SKU Car. Check out that description. Alright, Typical will be starting in first for stage number 3 from Charlotte. Remember, we got 4 stages at this track. It's going to be Death Before Dishonor right outside him, Bad Martin in the 18 in 3rd, Dan the Man in 4th, Hollywood rounding up the top 5. Typical going to get a good start on the inside. Also a 47 lap stage for us here in stage number 3, so a pit stop will be happening And these restarts here in stage number 2, if it see anything like it did, well, it might see us a little bit of a wreck. Right now, everybody's holding it good and tight on both lanes. Get a little wear and warmth in those tires. We'll see how it goes. As we are getting close coming down the front stretch, and we are on board with about 5th position here. 3 wide coming out of 2, and that's going to shift the 18 all the way to the inside. 34 up and get some wall. And now we're back 2 by 2. We got 1 in the middle, and Shepherd can't find any room down on the bottom side. Kind of drags the 2 up on him. Now we've got some good racing here in the middle of this pack. Nearly 3 wide once again. As we come back to 2 by 2, coming down the front stretch into turn number 1, Hollywood and Bad Martin have the inside advantage on Death. And, oh, here goes Dan the Man shaking some cars around. That's going to be a big wreck here for us. We got them piling up down the front stretch now. So that's going to be a caution once we get around to the line. Oh, that was a game-initiated caution, so big wreck right there. Alright, so second caution of the day here for us. Comes early on in the stage once again. So, not quite as many laps ran this time, I don't think. So we had us another big caution. Little contact moment. But nonetheless, we'll get it rounded back up. Typical is on the front. And Hollywood takes advantage here of this and comes up to second. Knowing he also needs points. If Shepherd was to win this race, that would put a damper on someone like Martin or Hollywood, as I believe typical with the stage win pretty much locks himself in. Dan the Man already locked in with the Dago win. Oh, 18 in the inside. Hard crash down the front stretch. Only a 1-car incident. Bad Martin just talking about his playoff implications, and a big wreck down the front stretches. He almost flipped her. And here goes Hollywood still in second. We'll see if they let out, if there's any kind of caution here. They've been going green most of the night for any incident. Oh, that's going to be unfortunate, as they are going to stay green. As I don't know what happened to him exactly, but he definitely crashed hard. And this is your top 3 right now. So Typical and Dan the Man about the only ones locked into the championship 4 hunt. It's between Hollywood, Martin, and Shepherd for those last 2 spots. Shepherd just inching closer to a must win. Points are in the favor of Hollywood and Martin. Hollywood's going to go to the inside this time and try to take the lead from the 3. He's got the help of the 5 and Death before Dishonor, and they're going to pass it. He's going to leave Death on the low side, though. He's going to immediately drop right back down there, and that's going to shift Typical all the way back to 3rd position, and that's going to allow the pack to catch up to him a little bit. As you can see, Dan the Man in that 34 in 4th position trying to catch up. Typical getting a little tricky there on the bumper of the 5. Got him up the track a little bit, I think. Death having a little bit of a hard time keeping it low. He's going to leave the door open a little too much for that 3. $16 is your leader in Hollywood now. As you can see, Dan the Man is now catching up in striking distance here to make this a 4-car battle. Big Ben not far off the pace either, as he is just lingering around there in 5th position. 37 to go here in stage number 3. As I believe this race will come down to the final lap. I believe we're going to have us a good battle all the way through the end of this one to see who gets in the final 4 spots for a chance to be a Ruthless champion. The most ruthless of them all. Hollywood kind of stretching out to a little bit of a lead here now, late in the race, early on stage 3. Typical back into second position. And the clean air has been the difference maker here for about any leader. Hollywood, if he can keep it off the apron, he could have a strong car clear to the pit stop this round. We do have 35 laps remaining in stage number 3. I think we'll probably have a pit stop in about 15 laps or so. Typical already back up to the bumper of the 16, looking on the inside, and the turns 3 and 4. Drops back a little bit though this time. There's a good battle here about to shape up for the lead, as I believe Typical is going to be looking inside any moment. I don't think he's going to be looking to work with many people. Top 5 looking strong as they are all grouped together. And there's just a little bit of separation off the bumper of that 16 and the nose of that 3, but they do gain it up there down the backstretch. 3 going to look inside this time. It's going to force Hollywood to have to hold it high. 34 is going to stay high with Hollywood's line. 5 is going to work up to the high side as well. Typical is going to stay on the inside, bumps up to 16. 5 goes back to work inside. Big Ben also on the inside line. Typical back up to cut the nose off to 16, nearly 3 wide into 1 and 2. Between the 5, the 16, and the 3. And it's going to work back out door to door, 2 by 2 down the front stretch. Good racing there through 1 and 2 of these guys. So nearly 3 wide again. Oh, got Big Ben shifting up the track. Not looking good, but he's able to line it out. Typical going to lose the lead to death before dishonor this time, as he has the inside advantage crossing the line. So we got some tight racing here in stage number 3 as 31 to go this time. And Death Before Dishonor is now your leader. And Hollywood looking to the inside. No, not quite. Off the apron a little bit there. We'll see how it works out when we exit turn number 4 here. And everybody seems to hold it for the most part. And it's just good door-to-door racing here right now. So we got a good pack up front here. Death still your leader. Top 5 looking menacing. It's looking to turn into a top 6 battle. Dan the Man kind of loses the car off the exit there, but he's able to control it and get back into the fight. So Death Before Dishonor kind of shifted around on the league changes and works his way out to a lead here. Typical back into second. Hollywood single files into third. Big Ben still door to door with Dan the Man. And wondering when these guys are just going to straighten out this line and race it out. 28 to go. In stage number 3. This is your Ruthless Racing Series playoffs. Ruthless round of 6 cutoff race at Charlotte. See who will be a part of that Ruthless Championship 4 next week at Homestead, Miami. And that will be decided at the conclusion of this race. Oh, I believe that was Animal getting off out of the leader's way. So not really anything to worry about there. Good battling up here between the front of the pack. Top 5 all looking strong. And the battle for the lead's about to change, I believe, with Typical there on the bumper of the 5. Still a pit stop in this stage. Hollywood way loose off of 2. And he's able to regain everything back into 3 and 4. Good battling up here, though, amongst everybody in this top 5. Top 6, really. We got 2 pairs of 2 all throughout the top 6. You can see Typical and Death here. You got Dan and Hollywood here. And you got Big Ben and Dunlap there. Animal taking his pit. Death still your leader. Typical to the inside. Does he have the momentum this time on the inside? He will have it to take the lead for now, but will he be able to clear this 5 on exit? And can he clear it for the slide job? And he did. He got the clearance and he did it. Slide job. So good battle here. Typical takes the lead from Death Before Dishonor here in stage number 3. Typical did win stage number 2. 23 laps remaining here in this stage. We're going to take a quick break and leave you right here on your leaders. Alright, so I'm just going to inform everybody now. We will not be doing post-race interviews tonight. But I will be doing pre-race interviews next week with the Championship 4 drivers. I got some things I got to do this tonight, and the weather's supposed to get really bad really quickly, so as soon as this stream's done I need to split. So sorry for any inconvenience on that part. I enjoy the post-race interviews just as much as some others. So sorry for that, anybody, but Typical is still your leader as he gets some wall that time. But it's not going to affect his leading abilities. As I'm still curious as to when this pit's going to happen. 19 to go in stage number 3 now. Sorry everybody, got some issues going on here. Having a nosebleed, so if everybody could bear with me, I'd appreciate that, as I am a one-man deal up here. So for the moment, I'm going to try to do maybe a little bit of Crank It Up. Hopefully they don't pit on me. So everybody get ready for that. Alright, thank you all, and just like that, I said hopefully they don't pit on me, and they did. So, Typical is down pit road. Death Before Dishonor is still out there, and he is going to choose to pit the lap after. And we'll see how big of a difference that makes for him. Typical still on pit road right now. As, he did go on smoothly, and don't know if pit road has claimed anybody in stage number 3 yet. Possibly might not. The 2 of Big Ben, though, is in the lead, as he'll be looking to pit this time. Oh, he has spun out going on pit road, and he was invisible. Oh no, he wasn't. He wrecked Hollywood out. Oh no, that could possibly bring out a caution at the worst time. Oh my goodness. Man, unfortunate. So I don't know who's going to come back around in the lead. Possible Dan the Man. But did he make the same tire mistake as last time? Because he is catching, Typical's catching him fairly quickly. So here we go. Battle 5 of Death Before Dishonor is actually the leader still. Wow. I don't know what Death done, but he is out to a monstrous lead. He has nearly a 5-second lead over the field. And I don't know if he took right sides. Possibly trying to play it out and not get caught. Typical is catching him quick, though. Could have been what most of these guys done. They might have tried to sneak it out on right sides or something. So we'll see how that works out. Typical is catching him quickly with 10 laps to go. I don't think Death Before Dishonor can keep that lead stretched out long enough. Typical's got to make up all the ground he can right now, though. As you can see him come into frame just as Death comes out of it. That is Typical back there on the front stretch. And he went from a 5-second lead to now a 3-second lead. So you can tell that Typical is burning them up, trying to get to him, riding that low side all the way around. So Death Before Dishonor, 2-second lead. We're going to go back here with Typical as we're going to watch him catch him. We're going to go right on board with Typical and just watch him catch the 5 of Death Before Dishonor here. As right now it is Death in the lead, Typical running him down, Dan the Man in 3rd, Dunlap in 4th, Big Ben in 5th. Hollywood had a big incident there on the front stretch with, I believe it was Big Ben who had an issue getting into the pits. So, unfortunate. Could spell disaster for Hollywood season. You never know. So, here's Typical. He has now caught Death Before Dishonor. It is under a second of a lead for him now. So Typical going to come right up here with 6 to go and possibly snag this lead away to try to win stage number 3 and go for the dub in back-to-back stages after losing to Dan the Man in stage number 1. Typical is a championship favorite, has won the most races in the Ruthless Racing Series this year, and has claimed the lead this time and already stretched the lead out to beyond competitive. We have 5 laps here in stage number 3, and then I believe we have probably about 40 to 49 in stage number 4, because we are at Charlotte. But thanks for stopping by, Elliott fan, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Or just Happy Holidays. But typical is your leader, 1.5 second lead now over Death Before Dishonor. And he had to come from 5 seconds back and caught that 5 car. And now he's going to try to win back-to-back stages. We got 3 laps remaining here in stage number 3. And we'll be on to stage number 4. That'll be the bonus point round. It's, you know, only 3 stages in every other race. Or in every other race. And Charlotte's just that special exception with 4. As it is a 600-mile race. 300 miles for us. Lap traffic there for Typical, no big deal. G-Dog lets him around. And Typical's going to go and, oh, grab a little bit of wall while he's at it. I'm going to try to run through the field here. There's Dan the Man, won stage number 1. But sitting in 3rd at the moment, there is Bad Martin. Not sure where he's running on the track. He is not in the top 5. Possibly in 6th position. And there's Hollywood, also not in the top 5. Probably not in 6th position. And there's Shepard, also not in the top 5. And needing every point he can get, basically at a must-win situation. And there's Engine Failure 62. Big Ben, who is in the top 5, in 5th position. Dunlap, who's in 4th position. And that's going to be your stage, with Typical getting the win in back-to-back stages in stage number 3, or stage number 2 and stage number 3. Death Before Dishonor finishing 2nd, followed by Dan the Man, Dunlap, and Big Ben rounding up your top 5. And now we're going to be on to the last and final stage, which is stage number 4 right here from Charlotte, which will decide who gets cut out of the Championship 4. Right now, it's not looking too great for Shepard, as he's possibly going to be in that win situation. And, you know, we got probably around 47 to 49 laps to decide that. Not quite sure what we'll have when we come out here. Be just as long as the other stages. Alright, so Typical is going to start off on the pole here for stage number 4 from Charlotte. And this is going to decide who will be your Ruthless 4 that will be fighting for a championship next week in Homestead, Miami. Dan the Man is already locked in. Typical basically locked in. It's a heat between Martin, Hollywood, and Shepard. As we have seen accidents in the last 2 stages on the restarts. We'll see what we got going on here, as we'll stay back here. And we do have some wall banging going on. We'll see if we get us another big one. So we are 3 wide coming out of 2. Between the 18, the 24, and the 16. 18 in the middle goes down to the inside. Now Dan the Man going to make it 3 wide. And it's the 16, the 24, and the 34. Oh, 34 gets up into the 24. Hits some wall in turn number 3 and 4. Hollywood way down into the apron. It's getting shifty back there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Or I'm sorry, that is way on farther back there than 3rd, 4th, and 5th. My goodness. That was for about 6th, 7th, and 8th. So almost an incident, but we didn't quite have one there. It was Bad Martin showing himself back up into that top 5, running 4th at the moment. Got Dan the man behind him in 5th. Typical still out there in the lead. Death Before Dishonor behind him, followed by Big Ben in 3rd. So Hollywood has had a rough go here in this race overall. He did take the lead for a brief bit back in stage number 3 after the caution. But since then, that's about all the noise he's made. And there's your leader, Typical. Double RS flip win. What do you mean, everything? As I forgot to say how many laps there were to begin this stage, but I'll get you how many there is to go. When we come back around, definitely going to be a pit this stage, and we'll see if it comes down to it. I think this will be a very tight battle for the win whenever it comes down to it. We have 42 laps remaining here in stage number 4. And it's just the same battle as it was before, Death Before Dishonor and Typical. And there's going to be a pit probably in about 20 laps. And that might get them to the end of the stage. It should get them to the end of the race, I'm sorry. Also, shout out to Typical 30 on YouTube for his Ruthless radio. That's where I get all my in-race, like lap counts, positions, stuff like that. Got Typical, Death Before Dishonor fighting for that lead. We're at 160 out of 200 laps at the moment. It looks like we got some guys out here running 29.1s this evening, which is really good. Oh, we got a caution. Wonder where that came from throughout the field. Someone in the pits. Wonder where that caution came from. Alright, so that throws a little bit of interesting. It's going to still require a pit stop later on in this race. So that will not be enough to get these guys to the end. Hey Robert, we allow 16 cars. This is a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 only league. Next season will be starting right after the beginning of the year. Championship race is next week. We're going to have like a little open season to try to get some guys together. But this is a restart to stage number 4 after a caution. We're at 37 to go in this race. Dan the man won stage number 1 and finds himself in the lead here in stage number 4. And Death Before Dishonor has been making some noise up front late in this race and has caused some issues for Typical. Big Ben gets some wall there in the back. I'm going to try to go back here. Oh, we got some swirliness going on. I want to thanks to everybody who's watching this evening or has watched. Please like the stream if you came through. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Always looking for new subscribers. Always greatly appreciated. as we are up to 339 now here in the Ruthless Racing Series. I do not think the burnout rule was eliminated. I think we are doing it tonight. Yeah, thank you, Robert, for coming through. Thank you for being here, watching us. This is the Ruthless Racing Series on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel, and we have got quite the battle out here as Death Before Dishonor is now your leader. Typical still looking strong there in second. He's trying to keep his name known right up front there. I think they're going to do the burnout rule tonight. I think they will do it. I said burnout rule or no tonight, and he said yes. So possible burnout rule. Typical finds himself about in the worst position he's been in 3 stages, back and forth. Hey, they did me dirty last week, everything NASCAR. They didn't let me know anything. They didn't invite me to the race the first time, and then didn't tell me they weren't doing the burnout rule. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if they don't like me. I'm not sure what the deal is. Typical still back there in 4th position as we are down to 31 laps to go here at Charlotte. And there's still a pit stop to be had. I'm not sure when that'll happen. They did just come off a racing incident that allowed them to get a stop in, but they just will not have enough to make it to the end, as the exit of these turns are starting to look a little shifty for some of these guys. The schedule for next season has been released, I think, but I'm not sure if it's official. There could be some removements of some stuff, yada yada. We are going to have some league recruitments, stuff like that. We are going to have a little clash, but it will not be at the New Hampshire Oval. That will be our all-star race. And we're looking to have that on 420, actually, so yert. Death Before Dishonor still your leader here. Typical has came back up into 2nd place, though. As of right now, though, Ruthless Racing... Oh, we have another caution. So, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a manual caution. So, I'm not sure what happened. It's going to be a manual caution to regroup the field here about midway through stage number 3. Don't know if that will allow them not to pit. Not sure if that will allow these guys to get to the end. Dan crashed. Oh man, I was paying attention to the. So I'm glad you all were paying attention. I was paying attention to the schedule. Let's just say Ruthless Racing starts next season off with Daytona, Mid-Ohio, Kansas. End of story. There's your little sneak peek. And it's the 400, going to be the night race. That's right, it will be 2 new tracks for us here in the Ruthless Racing Series, as these guys are I believe somebody was getting their lap back there. And Death is going to still be your leader. And so probably go green this time by. And Death will be at the discretion of the restart. So here we go. We'll probably go green this time by as we enter the skew car restart zone. Death Before Dishonor will be your leader. He's got Typical out there on the outside. And we are going to go green. Death Before Dishonor is going to take off as we go green here in stage number 3 with 26 laps remaining. So I think these guys will be able to make it to the end. No pit stop will be required now. So tight racing up front. Hollywood now shows himself up here in second in front of Typical behind Death Before Dishonor. And we are at 25 to go here from Charlotte to figure out who your championship 4 is. And I just want to send out a reminder, we will not be doing post-race interviews. I have to bounce right after this stream. I have to go do some things and the weather's supposed to turn bad. So I got to get that taken care of. But next week, tune in. Try to do it early enough. Try to get some pre-race interviews in with the Championship 4 drivers. So we got some good racing here off this restart as Death Before Dishonor still in the lead. Typical just trying to work that high side any way he can. He's been strong up there on the high side all night. As now we get down to 22 to go. This will decide who will be in your Ruthless 4 fighting for a championship. We'll take another quick break. And, oh, we got Hollywood off into the grass. Every time I go to take a daggone drink, somebody decides to lose their shit. Hollywood really wrecked it that time. Unfortunate. So we got a lot of people getting swirly out here. Swirly, swirly, quirly. Top 4 looking good though. Dunlap up here fighting like he would like to win a Ruthless race. See if he could possibly do that. Could we get a new winner out here this evening? With 3 of the top 4 would all be new winners in the Ruthless Racing Series. You know what, everything NASCAR? If you wanted to make a start, I'll find you a spot. If you got the PlayStation and the game and the time, we'll try to get you in there. What's up, Crazy Bull? Welcome. This is stage number 4. We're under 20 laps to go now. Death Before Dishonor leading. 18 laps remaining. 2 of the top 3 would be a new winner in the Ruthless Racing Series. And that would be Dunlap or Death Before Dishonor. Dan the Man already locked into the Championship 4 in his fight for a Ruthless Championship. So we'll see who would like to join him. Typical basically there with 2 stage wins tonight already. He's basically got the points to lock it up. Hollywood has had a rough night out here. Everything we do a cap is 16 because the PlayStation Party chat only allows 16. We want to have a clear communication channel between all the drivers at once that is in the race. We just don't have anything that this doesn't make enough sense. Like Discord just don't work well with trying to race with your headset on and everything. Oh, we got Dunlap losing it a little bit. Possibly going to drop off these front 2. Typical took the lead. And there shouldn't be a pit stop here to remain this race and the remainder of this race. And it's about 15 laps to go now. Typical, if he was to win this race, he would basically just solidify what's already the given at this point, is locking himself in to the Championship 4. A win is a win, though. If somebody like Death Before Dishonor was able to poke around until the end and win this thing, he could get his first Ruthless win. And Death Before Dishonor, a tremendous racer. I've been racing with him for a while. And he's always a good one to have around. We're getting down to it now as we got 12 to go. Typical still your leader. I'm going to try to stay right here with this battle, as this is where it matters. This is the battle for the lead with 12 to go. Wonder if Death has it in it. Okay, Skew Car's halfway back. Wait, you puked your brains out? Damn, my stomach is in my stomach. Or my brain's in my head. I don't know, man, that's backwards. Oh, typical. Touched that blue line a little heavy that time. You can see Death gain a little bit up on the inside there. He's going to make an inside move now. With 10 to go, he's going to try to look and make a lead changing move right now. As they almost touch doors coming by. As the 5 is going to clear the nose and take the lead from the 3 here late in stage number 4. Can he hold on and be a new winner here in the Ruthless Racing Series? As we got 9 to go now, Death Before Dishonor has took the lead. Crazy Bull has not been here in a month. That's true, you have not, but we're glad you're here now. That's all that matters. Somebody has hit the wall. That is Animal as they go by. Death Before Dishonor still your leader with 8 to go here from Charlotte. And that is him in that 5 car. Dunlap in third, way back there. Once again, will not be post-race interviews due to I have to just get the hell out of here after this because we're about to have like freezing rain, sub-zero temperatures. It's going to be great, awesome. But typical trying to make a move on that now. Sorry everybody, I had to do something. Sorry on that, but we are back at it. We are at 5 to go. We are door to door for the lead. Alright, so Death Before Dishonor is still barely in the lead when he comes out of this corner. I don't know if Typical is going to have him though door to door like that. Might possibly allow Dunlap to come up here and make some noise with them racing together. As long as he stays on the throttle, Dunlap could have a chance here. 5 to go this time, right now. Yeah, we're having extreme, just extreme wind, extreme cold, stuff like that. It's pretty wild. But we are down to the nitty-gritty here. It is now door-to-door racing between these two. And Typical is looking to have an advantage here, get around them. Here with just 4 to go now. So Death Before Dishonor takes the lead with about 9 to go and loses it with 4 to go. Maybe Typical just drop back to save a little bit of rubber here for the end. Animal having all kinds of issues tonight. He'll just burn it off the track there for him. Oh no, he's coming back up to the leaders, goes way high, gets the leaders kind of swirled out there. Dunlap still grabbing grass back there. Not sure what happened to him, as he was looking like he could have made a little bit of a comeback here on these two guys. Oh, and that's going to bring out a caution. Oh my goodness. Unfortunate. A caution has came out at the end of this race. What is going on? That has to eliminate the burnout rule now. Unfortunate. That was only 3 laps remaining, so this will be ruthless overtime. And that's going to be for the championship race. Shepard, unfortunately, is completely out of this race. So I do not think he'll be making the championship 4. He's not even in the race anymore. Typical is going to be on the pole. This will be ruthless overtime, I do believe. 2 laps remaining. Typical is on the inside. Death Before Dishonor kind of got the bad part of the stick getting the outside. Dunlap going to try to move hard on the inside and make a move. Typical really protective of that low side. I see a few guys going to probably drift up here in turns number 3 and 4. Typical is trying to hang on to this late race restart. And he is going to come by and lead the first lap of the overtime. Any caution now will end the race. Burnout rule was eliminated with overtime. Dunlap still in second place, trying to work his way and try to get a win here. Dan the Man has now moved up to 3rd. So it's quite the top battle here. Caution was probably good for someone like Hollywood, who's had a pretty rough evening. And this is going to be the last lap. Typical is going to be your winner once again, victorious in the Ruthless Racing Series after a late restart. Not sure how that caution came out, but it did, and there we go. That'll be the results. Typical with your win. Dunlap getting second place, though. I believe that is the best finish in his Ruthless Racing career. And then Dan the Man in 3rd, Bad Martin in 4th, Death Before Dishonor in 5th. Possibly a winner tonight, Death Before Dishonor, but late restart, getting on the outside wasn't good for him. Hollywood got 6th, G-Dog in 7th, Big Ben rounding up in 8th. Everybody else lapped down and out of the race. But that was Ruthless Racing tonight. Typical got the win, and unfortunately I won't be able to do post-race interviews, but thanks to everybody who watches, thanks to Skew Car, thanks to Everything NASCAR for the official Ruthless Racing highlights, thanks to everybody who's watching. Have an awesome holiday, Merry Christmas, and make sure you catch us next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Ruthless Championship race, and we'll try to do some pre-race interviews with those Championship 4 drivers. I'll check out the community tab, and I'll have those Championship 4 drivers posted for you sometime this evening or tomorrow. But nonetheless, thanks to everybody. It was a great race, and I hope you all have a lovely, lovely Christmas holiday. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever y'all up to. Take it easy.